Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed Israel can stand alone after the US warned arms shipments could be stopped if he orders a full-scale invasion of Rafah in Gaza. Thousands of people have already fled the southern city after the Israeli military began what it called a limited operation on Monday. US President Joe Biden has repeatedly warned against the operation, saying that it would cross a red line. But Mr. Netanyahu dismissed the US warning, saying Israel would fight on. If we need to, we will stand alone. I have said that if necessary, we will fight with our fingernails, the Prime Minister said. Well, even without a full-scale Israeli ground invasion, Rafah's medical facilities have already been overwhelmed. Medics say more than 1 million people sheltering in the southern Gazan city are at risk of being deprived of health care after the Israeli military began their operation against Hamas on its eastern outskirts on Monday. The largest of the city's 3 partially functional hospitals, Abu Yusuf al-Najjar, had to be hastily abandoned the following day after staff received an evacuation order and there was fighting nearby. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has sacked the head of his personal protection unit after 2 of its top officials were detained over an alleged assassination plot. Serhiy Rud has led the president's security detail since 2019. No reason was given for his dismissal, which was announced in a brief presidential decree. However, the State Guard administration is critical for the safety not only of the president, but other key figures in Ukraine and their families. The 2 colonels in the State Guard, who were detained on Tuesday, are suspected of belonging to a network of agents run by Russia's FSB security service. India's top court has granted interim bail to Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal more than a month after he was arrested in a corruption case. The court said that the bail is applicable until the 1st of June, after which he must surrender to authorities again. A former anti-corruption crusader, Mr. Kejriwal, was arrested in connection with a now-scrapped alcohol sales policy in March. He has denied the charges against him and has called his arrest illegal. The death toll from severe flooding in southern Brazil has risen to 107 as rescue operations continued and authorities began to see the cost of recovering from the devastation in the state of Rio Grande do Sul. Here, rescuers saving a man clinging to a fence. And emergency services also managing to transport a horse that had been trapped precariously for 2 days on a rooftop to safety. More rains are forecast in the coming days, raising fears that water levels will rise further in the inundated state capital of Porto Alegre and nearby towns where streets have turned into rivers. A general strike against public spending cuts has affected most of Argentina, where schools, banks and many shops remain closed. Train and metro services were suspended, with a limited bus service running. One of the main union leaders, Hector Daher, said the 24-hour strike was a wake-up call to President Javier Milei. Mr. Daher urged him to review some of the cuts to subsidies and social programs. And the Israeli singer Eden Golan has qualified for the final of the Eurovision Song Contest after a public vote. Her victory came hours after thousands of pro-Palestinian protesters gathered in the streets of Malmö in Sweden, where the contest is being held to show their support for Gaza. There was a mixture of cheering and booing again during the semi-final. Speaking after the show, she said she was overwhelmed with emotion.
It's truly such an honor to be here on stage, performing and showing our voice and representing us with pride and making it to the finals. It's something crazy, and I'm so grateful for everyone who voted and who took part in supporting us and me. And yeah, I'm just super excited to go on stage once more and share a bit of my love with everyone.
And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.